You have a lot of freedom here with the interior to craft pockets that suit you perfectly. For mine, I'm going to add a 3-way divided slip pocket and then one large zipper pocket. So we're going to begin by prepping those body panels, which are 11 by 14. I am not using any interfacing or batting for the interior, just the cotton fabric. And I'm going to put those right sides facing, and then using my ruler and my mat, I'm going to measure in 2 inches across the top and 3 inches down and trim those corners. And now I have the same angle that I do on the exterior. So we're just going to work one panel at a time. We'll begin with the slip pocket, which is crafted from a piece of material that's 11 inches wide by 16 inches tall. I took both of the short edges and pressed that over 3/4 of an inch to finish that top edge. And then I folded the fabric in half to create a panel that's approximately 8 by 11. And I just want to slightly stagger that front and rear top edge and then stitch across there. And that's going to create a rigid lip for the pocket. So I'm going to position this pocket 2 inches up from the base panel there, and then I just fold mine over and crease with my nail to create the stitch lines so that I can divide those pockets nice and straight. And because that center pocket is very shallow, I'm going to put a little crease about 3 inches down between those 2 center crease lines and stitch across there to create a very shallow center pocket that is absolutely perfect for small items such as lip gloss, earbuds, tiny things you don't want to lose. Okay, so first I'm going to stitch across the base, then I'm going to divide that on my vertical stitch lines and then sew a very short horizontal stitch line to create that center pocket. Yeah, one panel done. I want to bring over the second interior body panel, and this is going to have a large zipper pocket that's centered on there. So to craft this, I have one piece of material that's 9 inches wide by 18 inches long, and I'm going to fold that in half and align those top edges, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down the right and the left hand sides. And then I'll turn that pocket right side out, and I'm going to press that and take that top raw edge and press that inward a 1/2 inch to create a nice finished edge. That's what that looks like there. So all of the edges of the pocket are finished, and I want to take a 7-inch zipper and I'm going to position that open edge there that we folded under right on top, centered on that zipper, and pin that in place. And then I'm going to take a tab that measures 3 inches by 10 inches, and I'm going to fold the short edges over a 1/2 inch and then create the Sewspire strap by folding those raw edges inward and then folding that over again. And I'm going to insert that zipper in between there to create a nice finished top trim for that. I'm going to pin that in place. And then I want to stitch across the top close to the zipper teeth to secure the trim, and across the bottom close to the zipper, secure the pocket to the zipper. Okay, now my zipper has been attached to the pocket and to the trim. And so I'm going to center that on this panel, coming down a 1/2 inch from that corner angle and 1 inch from the bottom. I'm going to pin that in place, and then I need to stitch across the top trim there and then down the sides and across the base to create that pocket. Okay, now I have a large zipper pocket there. That's awesome. And the remainder of the interior comes together in the same fashion as the exterior did, using that T method. So we're going to take those side panels and line up those outer edges, right sides facing. And then stitch down the right and the left hand side. And the base is going to align across the base. And I'm going to stitch across there. And I'll open up those side panels and the base panel and center that base panel with the base of that side panel and stitch from seam to seam. And then I have what resembles a large T, and I'm going to line up those sides, leaving 5/8 of an inch overlap at the base. And then I'll attach the sides by stitching from the top till I feel that bottom seam. And then all I have to do is close up those bottom ends. And I'm just going to reach in there and align the base of the side with the side of the base and stitch seam to seam. Alright, and now the interior is done. I'm going to turn that right sides out, remove those pins. Then I want to bring back over my exterior, which has the wrong side facing out, and I'm going to insert that interior right sides facing inside of that exterior, and I personally want the zipper pocket towards the back, so I'm going to put that along those straps. And then I'm going to begin by aligning those top edges and pinning all those layers together. You want your pins on the outside so you can see when you're sewing and remove those. And then come down to the sides and line up those side seams. this is what it should look like. Now you're going to remove your machine deck and stitch around the perimeter of this. You're going to leave a 4-inch opening on the front top edge of that bag. So you know the back edge is where the straps are. You do not want the opening there. In fact, when you come across here, you want to reinforce those straps with a back stitch. So mark off here 4 inches and put 2 pins vertically so you know to reinforce with a back stitch on either side, and leave that center open so we can turn this bag. Okay, so take a nice generous seam allowance on this. 5/8 actually is probably going to be just perfect. So let's go with that. If you need more, you know you can take it. So I'm going to begin on that front panel at that first stop mark, so I can go a little forwards and then backwards to reinforce. And I'm just stitching all the way around with the exception of the opening to turn. I made it all the way around. I have my opening reinforced so I can turn this. I just want to take a second now and make sure that there were no close seams there. Especially pay good attention to those corners. You don't want to get this all the way turned around and then realize you have a tiny hole. So check now, and if there are any seams that are just a little too close to your liking, go ahead and put that back up on the machine and reinforce. If everything looks good, you can begin birthing this or turning it right side out. Be incredibly mindful of those pins. I would first go hunting for those and remove as many as possible. Once you get that turned right side out and remove those pins, then you can fit that interior and press this nice. Take your time, align the side seams and the top edges. When you get to the opening, you're going to fold that inward and press that nice as well.